excited about this one. From left to right, we have the Chucky deck, Friday the 13th, A Nightmare on Elm Street, The Exorcist, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, It, Halloween, and The Conjuring. So quite the lineup tonight. And let's get straight into it, my friend. So let's open up our first deck of the night and begin. And as we do, I hope your day has been well. Ready to relax and play some Solitaire. Please get yourself nice and comfy. And let's see what these decks have to offer for us tonight. Alright, here we go. Let's put this back to the side. Chucky. Another thing I want to ask as we get into this is, let me know your favorite deck that we play with, as well as your favorite horror movie. I have a feeling that some of yours will be in here tonight, as we have just a lot of pictures of Chucky from all of the movies. And my goodness, this is a lot. Well, there they are. A nice, simple deck. Let's shuffle up the cards and begin. And if you enjoy these special lost episodes, let me know. I'm already thinking about doing one for our next, I guess, October theme, but let's just enjoy this one at hand. And let's give it a couple cuts and begin. Oh, this is just gonna be a lot for this one, I think. Let's make some predictions. So we're gonna do a game per deck, and I think that we will get 2 wins with 4 fat stacks tonight. There's the starting draw. We have ourselves an ace of diamonds. And we await our next plays. And if you are new, we do play Solitaire here on a 3-card draw rule basis. zombie movies, a very wide range of those, and some, I guess, TV specials. There isn't anything really like watching those Halloween specials as a kid, waiting for the day to come. I think we can all agree on that one. Our second king. Something I always found funny about Chucky was when he would just lose his crap and start screaming. Probably, let's see, surprisingly no pictures here portray him in that act. But I think you all know what I mean. And I think my favorite Child's Play movie was, I think it's when Andy goes into a troubled youth area, or a mental asylum to a sense, and then Chucky tracks him down all the way there somehow. Anyway, it looks like that's the end of this game, as there's nowhere for that queen. 9, 6, 9. Once again, oh wait a second. We can play that 9 and that 6 with that 5. And we fight to stay alive. Another king. And we'll be able to play our queen. So we are still rolling. I'm not gonna lie. I did always want a Chucky doll of my own as we receive our first fat stack of the night to our left. Our fourth ace. And now we are in a pretty decent position for the king. 8 and a 7. The packaging really did appeal to my want of a bright color box. For whatever reason. Even though I think Chucky is quite possibly, well, I'll take that back. He is ugly, but in a cute way, as I pull that card. Okay, so we have our second fat stack right there. Now let's see if we can start off our night on a win. And by the way, please feel free to share your favorite of any of these movies that you've seen. That moment when he just flips out. I always think that's fun. 4, 3, 4. And we are still counting. Alright, so we only have these spades to ascend. 6, 7. Move that 7. That scene was interesting. 8. Is that a club or a spade? That is a spade. There's the club. And you know what, my friend? We just won our first game of the night with double fat stacks. Easy work, but I think of it as child's play. some aces, so not our worst victory shuffle. So we start off with a win and 2 fat stacks. Good games, good deck, supposedly a good guy. And that wasn't too bad. So that was the Chucky deck. As we move on to the Friday the 13th deck. And I believe there's the 17 plus warning. I bet you're wondering why that was here. Oh, let's read the back of this. Okay. Escape death and let terror in. Bring a new playmate into the house with this officially licensed deck of playing cards featuring Chucky, the most dangerous of toys. Just remember, he wants you for a new best friend. Resurrect Jason Voorhees with the official deck of Friday the 13th playing cards. Cool looking deck. Anyway, I believe I got this deck over a year ago with this exact special in mind. And this deck already looks very interesting. I really enjoyed, I think, the first 2 Friday the 13th movies. And from there, I don't remember much, because they're all pretty much the same. Until he goes to space and he fights Krueger. I don't know what's up with him, but dude must think he's Godzilla. So let's put away the jokers and get into game number 2. Alright, first, favorite Jason movie, and then when was the first time I watched it? I think Friday the 13th was introduced when I was about 5 years old, along with Halloween and A Nightmare on Elm Street. I like Jason obviously because of the hockey mask, or ski mask, whichever you prefer. And, in my opinion, I think what makes a horror movie is its soundtrack. And Friday the 13th has a very good one in the early days. And it just adds to the overall mood of the movie. As a young kid, I really enjoyed these movies, if you know what I mean. And then the, I guess, subtle plot twists and the gore just added on top to everything. Very fun experience. Oh, Jason X. Never bothered, really, paying attention to that one. But I do believe I remember watching like the 2010 remake, and it wasn't too bad, in my opinion, at the time. And that is a nice looking start for this one. Ace of Hearts down. And a 5. No, triple 5s. So this might not be as good as we think. What was fun to do before YouTube and I guess most social medias was to do those Each movie is on each card, of which it is referencing, or a picture is from. Jason Goes to Hell. That is a funny title, still. Imagine that with any other movie that's not horror. SpongeBob Goes to Hell from Nickelodeon. There we go, a queen. And we await another jack. This one looks like it might be quick, as there's nowhere for that 8. We have a spot for that 2. Surprisingly enough, I think the Chucky deck is winning for me at the moment. This deck I think is a little too dark, and it kind of distracts and doesn't have a bright contrast to complement the mood, even in person. And plus they're pretty hard to distinguish between other movies. Like this dude looks like he's from a heavy metal band right there. Okay. Nowhere for that 8. Jack. 7. King, and lastly 5. So not a bad game, just a bit short from cracking into these stacks. I think those would have been the difference makers. So Jason couldn't quite get the job done. Triple 2s. And that looks to be it. A nice looking box, but just a bit short from delivering. Alright, on to our next deck of the night. And when you have Jason, you must have Freddy. Sometimes. So I don't think Jason scared me much as a kid. And I think Freddy didn't really scare me. I thought he was cool. And I thought there's no way to beat Freddy in those hypothetical scenarios, since he was pretty much immortal and a fighter of the mind. Dream of Freddy Krueger with the official deck of A Nightmare on Elm Street playing cards. Pretty simple. I think it's just pretty cool. Nothing really scary to me about it. His face was just kinda meh. And just kinda goofy as well. He's more comedic in a way, when you think about it. Like that. I think my favorite one is probably the first one. I think they had the best tone as well, especially with the young Johnny Depp. The ceiling scene, and I think the bed scene happened as well in that one. Alright, Freddy. 1, 2, we're coming for you. that's about it. Still, as a kid, it's not fun knowing that. But once you just kind of know, well, yeah. But you can't really change much regardless. It's not too bad. And I think of these three, Freddy is my favorite. Krueger. Kroger. Freddy Kroger. Monster in the dreams, delivering the creams to a grocery store near you. Oh, there it is. Still, Chucky is the favorite deck at the moment. And we continue. Dang, this game also looks tough, especially if we can't move these cards right here. And so far there aren't too many openings for that to happen. What the heck is that? Right, that's a spade. A 6. A 5-4 combo. And let's wait for the chance at a red king. 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh no, is that a 3 or a jack? Does that look like a 3 or jack? I think it's a 3. Yes, it is a 3. There's our red king that we need. Lots of 2s. And another 2. Let's get that one out of the way. And you know what? Let's get that one out of the way. We're one card away from a fat stack. Can we get it? As there's nowhere for that 7, 10, 5, and lastly 8. So the Freddy deck could not do it for us tonight. Just the perfect combo to miss making a single more play or another play. Let's see the final 10 before he comes again. Yeah, when you think about it, that rhyme is pretty disturbing in a way. Of when you realize it's children singing it as a well-known song of caution. Well, Mr. Krueger, I slightly scraped this deck, and that might be a little worrisome once we get into our story. Perform your very own exorcism and relive the horror from the cult classic film, The Exorcist. Each card features a moment inspired by the film. Alright, deck 4. Let's take a look. Obviously from the beginning. And a large part of the movie, she's just in the bed, chilling out, dealing with the demons. You have the father. She's just doing herself. And then some pictures of her before and after the happenings. Alright, so as we shuffle this one up, let's get into the story time. Let me take you back to 7th grade me. I have seen this film before several times and thought nothing much of it. I enjoyed it, and growing up, I was in a relatively Catholic upbringing, but not traditionally, just very subtly. But the belief of demons and spirits lingered somewhat in a very minor sense. But in 7th grade, I was more of a viewpoint of being more, yeah, right, sure, type of feeling. So, 7th grade, it was my first year of junior high school, and I got my first laptop to do my notes on, take notes and do homework. I had a Dell from Costco. I think it was a 17 or 19-inch display. And I did a lot of stuff on that computer and pretty much used it every day for at least 3 hours. So this computer was pretty battle-tested and worn. So let's fast forward to, I think, the later part of my 7th grade year, where I was sick home alone. And I don't know about you, but when I'm sick, I like to feel in a little bit of a gloomy mood. So when I was sick, I'd either watch horror movies, things like Ghost Adventures on the TV, or the early days of Netflix, I should say. And I would just get in a nice little spooky mood, in a sense. So this day was no different. I was locked in my room, nobody home, and I thought to myself, why not watch The Exorcist? Because I typically watch Ghost Adventures, zombie movies, or other forms of horror movies. And it's been a while since I watched it. So I get myself in bed, all sick. I close my blinds, and I make the room pretty much pitch dark. And my computer can take in a DVD, so I put the Exorcist DVD in my disc tray, launched my movie player, and started the film. And I think with my copy of The Exorcist, it has one of those warnings like an extended bonus scene of the movie, because it's been known to cause some issues with certain devices and disturbing instances with people, and I thought, whatever, that's just one of those gimmicks. As it looks like that's the end of this game. Nice contrast to this deck, by the way, just couldn't get anything going. So I started the movie, and about 5 minutes in, after that warning, the DVD began to skip. So now plays on the field as we move on to our next deck, and this story will continue. So the DVD began to skip, and that is very uncommon since it was my brother's movie. Triple K's, triple kings to the negative stats. Watch us get triple sixes as well, but I think we should be good there, as we have 2. And lots of doubles. So we avoid the triple six, but a whole bunch of doubles and that triple king. So, it's my brother's DVD, brother's movies. We always take the best care of our DVDs since we know if you scuff it or leave it the wrong way, it would create a scratch and potentially ruin a movie and waste some money in the process. So, the DVD was skipping quite a bit in my laptop. After I kind of just brushed off that warning at the beginning of the movie. And some of you may be thinking, well, maybe your laptop was just reading the discs wrong. And just so you know, I have watched many movies on it before with no issue. And it was fine. No problems before. Relive the horror classic The Texas Chainsaw Massacre with this official deck of playing cards. So, I go through the movie, I think I'm about 30 minutes in. I go up to get some water from my throat. And I come back. It buffers for about 5 minutes, and then it continues. And, sorry, I'm looking at the cards as well. And my butt, my sick, demented butt, is the type of person to fall asleep to horror movies. In a little bit of a comforting sense. So I remember falling asleep during the movie. And I woke up probably around 3 p.m. because when you're sick you need rest, and it just kind of happens. Wow, pretty graphic cards. Very cool. And I noticed the movie was buffering still and frozen. I had my laptop next to my bed on a stand, charging the entire time so it wouldn't die. And the movie was frozen on the scene where there is light and she's grabbing at the air on the bed. That scene specifically. And I thought, you know what? Coincidental, nothing too odd about it. The DVD was buffering, so it must have just been a scratch disk somehow. So I then just closed my laptop, or try exiting out of the application, and it wouldn't close. So then I closed my laptop and tried turning it off. The computer would not turn off. So I thought, alright, let's unplug the battery. So there was a clip battery on the back of the laptop. You just go like that, pop it out, and your computer has no source of power. And when I did that, I saw the screen just slowly fade to black towards the middle, as if there was power in there just slowly leaving the computer. And that screen just faded into nothing. And interested in the, I guess, demonic possession type of history, in a sense. That's a better word. I look into the history of demonic possessions, possessed items, and that type of stuff. And when you're sick and a developing teenager, that's probably not the best thing to do. But I did it anyway. And whenever I watched a movie like that for the next 2 years, I always took a little bit of caution. Because I was more drawn to watching those types of films as well. But it was just a phase. A weird one at that. Okay. So do you have any similar stories to that one I just shared? If so, let me know. I've never spoken to anybody with any similar story like that. And I'm not sure if my brother was teasing me, but afterwards, he just said, "Oh yeah, your computer was possessed." So unlike him to say that, so I just assume it was teasing, as unfortunately, this lovely deck did not yield us any luck, as there's nowhere for that 2, king, queen, 3 of clubs, I should say 8, and king. No place left on the field. So those triple nines cursed us from the beginning. Let's talk about this movie a bit. But one last thing about The Exorcist. So I remember watching that when I was probably 3 years old, the entire film. And just happened a bit throughout the years, and just nothing much came from it. As we had triple threes. And that looks to be it. On to our next deck. But the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that's the movie of these bunches that scared me. The idea, especially watching it with your brother. He told me that this was, like going into it, I probably watched it when I was 4, that it was based on a true story, that the persons involved, some of them, are still alive, and the main character the movie's based around is alive, and supposedly near the area I lived was his last whereabouts, so obviously trying to scare me. It's been 27 years, and Pennywise has returned. Reunite with the Losers Club and conquer your fears. Thought it said farts. To defeat it once and for all with this deck of It Chapter 2 inspired playing cards. And when the intro verified what he said, that's when I got a little bit spooked. These cards, for sure, are the best looking of the night. And judging a book by its cover, I had the least amount of hope for this one, as they look to all be the same design. Yeah, so that movie, with its subjects, I could easily see the reality in it. That one freaked me out. I'd never watched the remake of It. But that movie, the original, didn't scare me much. I just knew that it correlated to me with John Wayne Gacy. And Pennywise just looked kinda silly. never seen it. I thought it was silly. Just by the previews. I was reading it, and I thought, shit. And then it says time to float, and that just verifies that thought. And if we don't make a play here, we made one play. And it will lead to another, hopefully. We almost got swept. And that is our third play. Let's see if we can make any more. Gonna need to be a little more aggressive with this game. Another ace. Black 7 would be nice with a red queen. There's the queen. Now show us the 7. Not quite yet. Black 7 would give us our third fat stack, as we just miss one. To our left. And I think this would be our third play. A red 7. And we continue. Alright. So we just missed one there. Our fourth ace. A 4. 7, 8, 7. There is the last 6. And right there, we just solidified our second win of the night. Not too bad so far in this Lost episode special. One final card to flip, a jack, and it's time for us to get on to our next victory shuffle. Here we go. All of these spades in order, ace to king, along with all of the clubs. Once again, the hearts, followed by the diamonds. Alright, let's see how we did. Nice start. And we kept all of the reds together. Let's take a quick glance at that. So ace, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, jack, queen, king. The royalty paired, and then the aces. So, a very good victory shuffle all the way around on that one. 2 wins in with 2 fat stacks. We move on to our 7th deck of the night. And we're gonna be like Mike. Old Myers, Halloween 2. Now I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember most of the Halloween movies. The first one is the most prominent for me. And that's mainly because of the music. The psychologist or doctor. And the fact that this creep would just hang out in the bushes with his theme blaring. Which was kind of funny when you think about it. There we go. What does this one say? Nothing. Funny. Every deck but I think of the angry video game nerd playing this on the, I think, NES or Atari 2600. I think it was the Atari. And how bad that game looked in a sense. But also, how fun at the same time. Alright. Let's see how we do with this deck. I swear we had a 5. So red queen and a red 10. Alright, I think I might have gone 4 there, which I did not. There's the red 10 and the red queen. So now we set ourselves up for a decent game ahead. Alright, so I think this might be my second favorite deck design, tied with the Exorcist. Just on the fact, 666s by the way, that you can tell the difference between the cards and that the font is a little bit bigger and distinguishable. Isn't this such a mood right there? Just completely out of it with the fire in the background, holding some candy. Alright, 5 has a spot. 2 has a spot. Red 5, white 6. Make sure to bring the crucifix. Drop the 2 and receive an ace in its place. Red king, red jack, red 9, red king, a red jack. Well, we have a red king on the field. It's just, can we get to it? As we still carry our 666 threat. Let's get rid of you. There is the king. Another queen. And I think that queen might have taken us out of it. Because now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s on the field. Now we're for that 8, 7, or 10. 5. Nowhere for that one. And that is the end to this one. Not, wait a second. We can drop that 4, but without the 4 of diamonds. Not another play to make. Not a bad game. Obviously the 555s and 666s and quadruple 5s kept us from doing anything. Come on now. Come on now. is, why'd they have to do him like that? The most unflattering picture possible. Well, then again, he doesn't deserve much sympathy, as we had triple nines left unturned. And we move on to our last deck of the night. There goes the Halloween. And here comes the Conjuring. What does this one say? Nothing. 17 plus though. Now once again, this is one of those movies I think I saw but did not leave any memorable impression on me. Just not my type of movie. The Annabelle thing, just silly. More of a gimmick in my opinion, like a cross between Chucky, and they're all the same, and like Pennywise in a sense. And just not it for me. But maybe it will be it for us in our final game. It. Missed that one. Anyway, let's shuffle up for our final game of the night. And I think most certainly I can say, that the Chucky deck was the best one. Next to the It, or my favorite one I should say, the It, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Exorcist. But the best boxes go to Friday the 13th and A Nightmare on Elm Street. Are you ready, my friend? Let's do it. Let's hope we can conjure at least a fat stack in this one. Oh, I like that. You know what? This deck is also tied with It and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, just because of the coloring and the nice dark tone it provides. Very easy to distinguish between. We start with an ace, and we begin our final game of the night. A blue jack would be perfect, as that is what we get. And now a blue king would do the thing to make this little girl sing like Wing. And if you know Wing, just, you deserve it. Tough go of it. Another 4. An ace, nowhere for that king. And we need a blue 9 now for a chance to stay alive. And I think we'll be just fine for at least one more round. Ooh, 7 to jump that 6. A blue 5 to carry that 4. Okay, we still need a couple cards. Now that red 7 would be perfect to clear up that spot. Drop that 3, 2 combo. Alright, red 7, where are you at? Triple 8s. There's that red 7, freeing up a spot for our blue king. And Annabelle is doing something a little bit special in this one. And we really need that blue 10. All 4 aces. Move that blue king. Swing that king, queen on the king. And another blue king. Still with those triple 8s. 7. Queen. 7 again. Finally, we receive that 10, which drops that 9, and we receive our, whoa, little messy there, Annabelle. Very messy, I should say. Our third fat stack of the night, I believe. But can we continue? Now we're for that 4, 9, or jack, so we must play that 2. As we just miss a fat stack, we move this one as well. There's still a chance. Drop that 4. And it looks like a couple 2s will keep us from doing anything further, as there's nowhere for those double 5s or jack. No plays left on the field, so Annabelle was a bit of a tease, but still a strong game to end our night. Let's see the final 8 cards on our 8th game that were left unturned. And we start off on a very ugly note. And nothing too special. Well, my friend, you know what's special? This video. I hope you enjoyed. Long one tonight, but that's no issue. 8 decks added in this one. Let's see the spread as we have the Conjuring, Halloween 2, It, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Exorcist, Nightmare, Friday the 13th, and Chucky. That's it for this one. If you enjoyed, once again, let me know. Maybe we could do another one of these next year, but we'll have to see. That's it for now. Please have yourself a relaxing remainder of your night,